Primetime television tonight. The Select Committee on China is likely to focus on national security, human rights, and manufacturing. We'll hear from two former Trump administration figures with bipartisan pedigrees, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster and former Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger. The committee will also hear from human rights advocate Tong Yi and Scott Paul, president of the Alliance for American Manufacturing. But the committee has already faced its first controversy as the panel's top Republican and Democrat both criticized Republican Congressman Lance Gooden this week for questioning the loyalty of a Chinese-American congresswoman. So a lot of politics here and a lot of business at stake. Kelly, back over to you.
Eamon, stay with us. My next guest says it's not just bluster. Business does have to pay attention to all of these hearings on China. Joining us now is Derek Scissors, Asia economist at the American Enterprise Institute. Derek, are you surprised to see this in prime time? What does that tell you?
Well, I think it says the Select Committee really wants to emphasize public communication. In conversations I've had with members of the Select Committee, they've said that, and they're backing it up. They want to talk to the American people about these issues. They think this is maybe a little too much a D.C. thing, not enough an ordinary people thing to understand the problems in our relationship with China and with Chinese behavior.
What would be the policies that could result from this, Derek, especially as it relates to American business? Or is it the beginning, and we've talked about this in recent weeks on the show, if the administration doesn't want or wants American companies to be careful doing business there, are they going to have to start being more explicit about that? I mean, is this what that in part is all about?
I think there needs to be more explicit guidance. Just look at the agenda for this hearing for the Select Committee. National security, human rights, and manufacturing. You're not going to get a lot of clear guidance when you're covering that many topics. The committee has a lot of members. They have a lot of interest. As Eamon said, we have a lot of hearings today on the Hill. If the administration wants to be transparent, if Congress wants to be transparent, they're going to need to focus more and say, this is what we think about this issue, and this is what we're going to do. Right now, we're at the level of China threat, China problem. That doesn't help businesses make decisions.
Especially, Eamon, I'm going to paraphrase Derek's points here, because this has been a lot of talk, but actually a lot less actual action. They've been unable to issue an EO on outbound investment, unable to alter the previous administration's tariff, dropped their earlier promises of an investigation into subsidies, still haven't come up with the final rule on chip export controls. I mean, those are pretty big lapses. So companies might understandably feel like, well, there's really not a lot of teeth here.
Well, I think you heard it from the Goldman Sachs CEO in that clip you just played, Kelly, from our interview this morning with Andrew Ross Sorkin. He's talking about this possibility of an executive order, I think, on outbound investment into China and what they're calling authoritarian states. I think that's something that's very much still on the table. There are all sorts of timelines for that, and it does seem to be getting kicked down the road a little bit. They have not been able to do it yet. But the idea is that this Biden administration might at some point put in new rules on investment in China in certain technologies, not just some of the sort of traditional military technologies that we all think of or even dual use technologies, but more broad categories of investment in China that heretofore have been fair game for venture capital, private equity, just individual investors. All of that landscape might be changing. There's some reporting from, I think it was Politico Pro this week, suggesting that some areas might be off the table. Maybe bioscience investments would be still allowed and others. So it's clearly a work in progress. But those kinds of investment restrictions in China might be coming, and they might be coming this year.
So, Derek, we have, and I was outlining what the administration maybe hasn't quite delivered, and that's a Democratic administration. We now have a Republican-led Congress. How much is really likely to get done?
Well, without making a partisan comment, if we had a Republican-led Congress, probably, or any unified Congress, a Democratic-led Congress as well, more would get done. But of course, we have a Republican-led House and a Democratic-led Senate.
Right.
And that's one barrier where, if you get something through the House on China that is meaningful, it's going to be difficult. Same thing through the Senate. And then going across chambers where the two chambers don't necessarily cooperate is also difficult. The Congress took up an outbound investment bill last year. The House passed it and the Senate didn't. So we see problems in the Congress on that particular issue. The Biden administration, has talked about this issue for almost 2 years and done nothing. We definitely can talk. We can talk about a lot of issues. We'll talk about a lot of issues tonight. But it doesn't look like the bipartisan consensus extends to action. And of course, looming in front of us is the start of the presidential election campaign.
Right, right. Although it doesn't sound like this is a climate where we're going to soften things up. If I were a company involved in any of these sensitive areas, the kind of road forward looks pretty clear, even if nothing happens in the very near term. Thank you both, Derek Scissors and our Eamon Javers.